Hi, welcome to my OISE Stay-at-Home Club learning session. My name is Drorit Weiss, and I am a high school math, physics, and computer science teacher. So before I was a high school teacher, I was a software developer. My background is in computer science. So the last couple of years, I started working on some math raps. And so my YouTube channel is Slice of Weiss. I'll give you a moment to find it and subscribe. Slice of Weiss. Please subscribe. I do have a rap coming out soon, and it's on computer science, which is cool. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. And so I like to come up with raps about things that are a little bit more challenging and abstract and complex, and just break it down in a really fun way. It has been a great learning experience. I've been working with the Adobe Creative Suite and learning that software. Before that, I was working with iMovie and GarageBand, and just the process of writing the rap and then putting it together, producing it and editing it has been really amazing and creative for me. Another thing that I've been very passionate about is dance. Not a lot of my students know that I'm also a professional belly dancer, and so I have been dancing professionally for the last 22 years. Right before I was a teacher, I was doing it full time, and I've been teaching and performing all around the world. And so when OISE asked me to do this, I'm sure they were expecting something about my math raps, but I decided to go in a different direction and fuse my three passions of mathematics and rhythms and beats and raps and music. So I thought I would share my love of Arabic music and Arabic rhythms with you today. So the drum is a really important part of Arabic music. It's kind of the backbone or the pulse of the music. It's the first thing that drew me to Arabic music, which led me to dance. When I'm dancing, I always connect to the drum and the rhythm section first, and then I kind of meander through the melody and come back to the drum. And it's something that grounds me, and just especially when I'm doing some improvisation, it's something that I'm always following. Before we get started, if you have a drum at home, you can grab that. If you don't, you can use your hands, you can use a tabletop, you can use whatever surface works. Pots or pans may work as well. So I just wanted to give a little bit of a review for time signature before we start. And so time signatures usually consist of two numbers, one on top, one on the bottom. And so if you see a time signature, the top number is what you're counting. And so that's how many beats you have in the measure. The bottom number signifies what note gets the beat. So for example, if you have a time signature of 9/16, it's a really weird one, but you're counting 9. So every measure has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 beats in it. And the 16th note is what gets the beat. And so most of our rhythms are going to be 4/4. There's one that's 2/4. And all that means is that it's 4 beats that we're counting it by 4. And then the quarter note gets the beat. So let's get started. Before we get started in playing, I wanted to introduce my band. Over here we have Benjamin Stein, who is 6 years old, and he's going to be playing the duff or the tambourine. It's called something else in different regions. And and so I usually use this when I'm performing at weddings. And we're actually going to do one of the wedding rhythms that I perform as well. And Samara is going to be playing, she is 9 years old, she's going to be playing the finger cymbals. And so these are usually, a dancer will play them as she's dancing. And so they sound like, they're a little big on her, but you just have to snap your fingers together. You're usually aiming for like a kind of a lighter, crisper sound with that. And I'm going to be playing the doumbek or the darbuka, and that's kind of like the leader of the percussion instruments in Arabic rhythms. So the way I'm going to break down the beats is with doom tek. So when I say doom, you're playing with your dominant hand on an instrument like this, and so you're hitting it kind of in the center. So that's like a strong beat. And tech is like a softer beat, so you could do it with your weaker hand on the side. You could do it with one hand and just play your tech on the top of the drum. And for this instrument, right here, you would play it
like this.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
You would play it like boom tech, like that.
We're gonna play it like a drum.
Yeah, you play it like a drum.
How about mine? Like this, you put it on your lap and then.
Okay, so Benjamin's actually going to show us how to play the cymbals.
So like you put this one on your thumb, and then like you put the other one on your third finger, and like you snap. Like that. Show us with both hands. So.
And you want to alternate, okay? So you're doing
like,
1, 2. So with your strong hand, which is your right hand, play that. That's your doom. And then this is your tech.
So do doom tech, doom tech.
Yes. There you go. That's great.
Yay.
And so the first rhythm we're going to play is actually a 2/4 rhythm, which means I'm going to count 2. So 1, 2. And the rhythm it's called an Ayub, and that's the rhythm. It's also called the Czar rhythm. And so this is an interesting rhythm because it's usually done, it's very simple, but it usually builds in intensity. And it's usually done as an exorcism. So when a dancer is, where someone is possessed, they'll call the dancer to come over, and it's done as an exorcism ceremony, and so the dancer is usually like twirling her head and trying to rid herself or whoever of these demons, and so it's a very intense kind of rhythm, and so we'll play it slowly, but it does usually gradually build. Ayub rhythm is doom, doom, tech, doom, doom, tech, doom, doom, tech, doom. Okay, so I'm just going to count us in, and we're going to try it with a little bit more accompaniment. So 1, 2.
Do what Mama's doing.
Next rhythm that we're going to learn is called the ballady rhythm, and ballady actually means of the land, and so this is a very earthy kind of folky rhythm, and it's balladies actually kind of like a whole bunch of rhythms. Well, that's not true. It's a specific rhythm, but there's many derivatives of this rhythm, and we're going to be looking at a couple of them. But this is a really heavy rhythm. Ballady is also an entire style of dance. It's a very folky kind of dance, usually done in long dresses and sometimes with a prop, but it is this different style of dancing. And so this is something that's still being performed and done in villages, and it's a very like community kind of feel to it. So the ballady rhythm is, and it's usually done barefoot, so it has like a heavy kind of like really earthy beat to it. The time signature is 4/4, and the beat goes like this. So it's doom doom tech doom tech doom doom tech doom tech doom doom tech doom tech doom doom tech doom So let's try it with some accompaniment.
Hey guys, I like it! I'm not a dancer.
next rhythm is called the Maxim rhythm, and it's a derivative of the melody rhythm. So it's actually the exact same thing. The only difference is that the emphasis, the second beat, is not a doom, it's a tek. And so it's a little bit of a lighter feel, not as heavy. And so it can be used in a ballady context, but it's more, you can use it as more of a classical feel. So it would be like tek, tek, boom, tek. So if you're doing it like I am, with alternating hands, it might feel a little bit differently. If you're doing it like Samara is on a drum or on the cymbals, which actually cymbals you might be alternating hands, but if you're doing it on a drum, it may not feel that different. It might be the same idea. All you're doing is kind of hitting the second beat on the side. So once again, just the breakdown of it is tek, tek, boom, tek, 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 boom, tek. Okay, so let's try it with some accompaniment. Ready? Okay, so this rhythm is called the Zafa. Zafa is typically a rhythm that's used as a wedding procession, and so I perform this one a lot. I will bring a drum to the wedding and usually lead in the family, followed by the bride and the groom. Sometimes the family would lead in, and then the dancers and a bride and the groom. And so usually Arabic weddings will have a huge procession called a Zafa, named after the rhythm. And this rhythm sounds very majestic and very regal. And so it's usually done as a procession. And so the rhythm for this again is in 4/4, and the rhythm for a Zafa is doom, tek, 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 doom, tek, tek, doom, tek, 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 doom, tek, tek, doom, tek, 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 doom, tek, tek, doom, tek, 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 doom, tek, tek. So I'll count us in. We could do it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's add some accompaniment. So another way to play it is just using one hand. You can always do so that is called the Zafa rhythm. Okay, so the next beat that we're going to look at is called the Saidi rhythm, and this one's one of my favorites. It's also kind of a ballady. It's related to the ballady rhythm. It's kind of regional to Upper Egypt. So dancers would use canes as props for this kind of rhythm, and it's just a fun kind of ballady, very earthy kind of beat. And so you'll hear they're very much connected. But there is a instrumentation that's characteristic of Saidi music, and that's called the mizmar. And here's kind of a sample of the mizmar. So as you can hear, it's a very unique sound. It's kind of like a flute. You can kind of think of it as the Egyptian bagpipe. That's kind of how it's known. But it's a very unique sound, and that's usually when you hear the mizmar, you know that it would be like a cane dance, and you're using a Saidi rhythm. And so the Saidi rhythm, again, is 4/4. And the breakdown of it is doom, tek, doom, doom, tek, doom, tek, doom, doom, tek, doom, tek, add some accompaniment. So I'd like to thank my band, Samara and Benjamin, for helping me out today. I'll give it like a little bit of a summary for all the beats. We're just going to run through them one more time. And so you can put them together and add embellishments as you progress. Thank you for joining me and tuning into the session. If you would like to follow some of my other projects and enjoy 90s rap, then please subscribe to my channel, Slice of Weiss. In the meantime, stay safe and take care, everybody. Bye-bye.